Hi, travelers. Tara here, Hiddenlotus Tarot. Today is September 26, 2016, and I'm going to be coming to you today with a general reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is a general reading, so please keep in mind that the messages will not resonate with everyone, in which case please check back to your Moon and Rising sign as they are posted. I have been having the craziest Mercury retrograde. It started when I ran over my phone and it just ain't quit since. Now, Mercury went direct, but we're still in the direct shadow phase. That doesn't end until October 7th. So Mercury, I'm sure, still has a few tricks up his sleeve because he got my name on about 5 lists, okay? So he's definitely been keeping me on my toes. Hopefully, oh yeah, Pluto went direct today. It is an outer planet, so it takes a while for it to get up to speed. But hopefully, while we've had those two planets retrograde and between the eclipses, I don't know what that was all about, you've had an opportunity to look over some things from your past. Because what Pluto does is Pluto comes in and burns everything to the ground. He does that in an opportunity for you to rebuild, okay, to get rid of those things that no longer serve you. So hopefully you've been looking at your finances. If that's been giving you trouble, how can you now move forward with shoring up your finances, or the relationship you have with yourself or with your kids or with your siblings or at work, or if you've had projects on the back burner, now would be the time to not really roll it out. Wait until October 7th to really roll it out, because we still got that Mercury retrograde kind of energy going on. I myself have been working on some new certifications. I paid for one of them damn courses back in November of last year, okay? So I think it was about time for me to finish it. I'm about to upload all of my documentation, my homework today, I hope, and get that one out of the way, and I have 3 more left. So that's what you do under a Mercury retrograde. And so with Pluto going direct now, this is an opportunity for you to start fresh and new and get rid of those things that no longer served you. So I have the Radiant White here with me and the Sabilas. Look, I just did the Sagittarius reading. Even if you ain't a Sagittarius or you don't know nobody, you have to see that reading. It was just crazy. So I was pre-shuffling your cards for Capricorn, and I had the Hermit fall out. So we're going to see how he fits in with the rest of the cards and what story they want to present to us today. But we do know that the Hermit is a scholar. He is also a mystic. Pluto, Capricorn is ruled by Pluto. So perhaps some of you may be getting spiritual messages, or you are really looking at things from a soul perspective, researching, giving great weight and great thought to some things from a spiritual perspective. Now, the thing about Capricorns, and I know because I'm a Capricorn rising, very, very determined. I would think that anybody who would go stand on a mountaintop holding a staff and a lamp could be pretty damn determined trying to figure out the answers that they're looking for. So, the other flip side of the Hermit is that this light is not only, his lamp that he's holding is not only the way for him to see through the dark, but once he comes out of his reclusive period, or his period of meditation or hiding or whatever it is that he's been doing up there on that mountaintop, that light is to help others find their way through the dark. So let's see how he plays in with the rest of the cards. I'm about sick of this damn King of Swords. Well, I forgot to tell you, the biggest astrological event, Jupiter into Libra, the Justice card. And here's this stinking Queen of Pentacles again. Well, that represents Capricorn. She does have the goats on her. She just showed up in the Sagittarius reading. I think it's just Earth sign time. Maybe there's like some, I don't know, some kind of trine or something going on, or mystic rectangle or mystic triangle or something. But there she is, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, overall energy. And to me, she showed up in the Sagittarius reading just a moment ago, and to me it was kind of speaking about someone who is really stepping into their own power. Normally you would say that female empowerment that you see with the Empress card, but the Queen of Pentacles can sometimes represent someone who is in a very, very stable position and who is empowered by that, okay? Now, right in the center, I have this Seven of Swords. First off the bat, I'm going to say that the Seven of Swords can represent a home move. Maybe some of you will be moving overseas. Maybe some of you have received a teaching job or a new job in some type of corporation. And what's interesting is I have two holy men here. And one is all about the truth of self, okay? And this one is about disseminating the truth outwards to others. So remember I said that his lamp is not only for him to see his way in the dark, but for him to show others the way. So this could be literally someone who teaches. You may be traveling to learn something. What I find most telling, if this is not a home move here, because no matter what, I never see that. That never comes to mind when I see this Seven of Swords. But I try to give you all of the interpretations that I know from the cards. And I'm always learning new ones. Because many people look at the cards in different ways. They show up, after you've been reading cards for a while, they'll tend to show up in different ways. You'll start to notice a pattern. But I'm throwing that out there just in case. But what it really reads like to me is someone who has really been trying to find the truth of a situation. Something being unclear. Something not being right. Okay? And because no matter how you look at this card, and this is a very, very controversial card in the tarot amongst tarot readers. Very. Most people just say, look, it always represents deceit and deception and lies and trickery. Okay? Some people say that. But again, this is how it's reading for me this time. So this is why we have this. This is somebody really, really trying to find the truth of something, something that they know is not right. And justice comes out. That is the truth. Okay? So if you've been kind of feeling as though, and you've been searching within your soul that something wasn't right with your situation, you were absolutely correct. Okay? Now, because Libra is all about partnerships and relationships, this could either be in partnership with yourself or with someone else. Romantic, career-wise, familial-wise, however the case may be. And I'm saying this because I have the twos here. And let me show you what I mean. I have the two acolytes at the feet of the Hierophant here, the Pope. Okay? And I have the two scales that Justice is holding. And then I have these two swords that are stuck in the ground. Okay? Now, we know that swords are communications, and we know that they represent thoughts and perceptions. So to me, this is like an incognito two of swords, being of two minds about something, not being quite sure if what you are seeing is really an illusion and you've been keeping it to yourself, or if I don't see any cards of I don't see the moon here, I don't see Neptune here, I don't see here. This card represents Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter is not comfortable in Pisces. Actually, Jupiter is exalted in Sagittarius. And Jupiter can be in Pisces, can be having a lot of illusions about things, things that maybe you thought you wanted, things that maybe you dreamed of having. And then we have this, you see that red hat there speaks about clarity of thought and ideas, and juxtaposed against this Six of Swords, it almost reads as though, see, even this King of Swords here has a lot of clouds behind him, and clouds represent mental confusion. Okay, so this could literally be someone perpetrating some kind of, or doing something, or acting in a way, or saying some things, mixed messages, the Two Swords. And they're walking away with their Five Swords, as if to say, well, I got the best, the better in this situation. I'm more in control of my thoughts. I'm going to leave those two back there while I make my getaway. And in a way, it kind of reads like that. Now, this could be that there has been a separation in a marriage. Someone is blocking or being in this space or this energy. And I don't always just look at this as being the card of Aquarius or an air sign. This could literally be someone, his professions would be doctor, dentist, surgeon, police officer, military person, somebody who works for the CIA, a spy. He could be a professional chess player. This is somebody who's a mastermind, okay, a scientist, somebody who deals in the logical realms, but who tends to be a little bit analytical and standoffish, if that helps you some. And no matter how this plays out, we still have the Judge here, Justice, the Karma card. So it could be that there is a separation within a relationship or a marriage, but you haven't gotten all of the news yet, okay? And I say that because the Hierophant has the two crossed keys at his feet. And the cross keys represent secret knowledge or esoteric knowledge. Remember I said at the beginning, before I laid the rest of the cards, that perhaps some of you have been receiving spiritual messages, signs, synchronicities, dreams, things of that nature, the mystic realm. And I think some of you have perhaps maybe have been disappointed in the messages that you've been receiving. Now, we did have this, look, I don't know about you, but this Mercury retrograde was some kind of crazy. And so this could be, there's a lot of communication here, but we can see that the communication is between self and another person, or I'm going to say another person. And that person could be your partner or your boss or, you know, something of that nature. But we can see that trying to access the mystic realm and not being able to, okay? But that's about to change. It's about to open up. Look at the difference in the imagery, the dark cards against this bright, bold background here. And this represents Scorpio. So this could be moving into the end of November and into, I'm sorry, the end of October and into November. But there is some type of freedom. Did I say Capricorn is ruled by Pluto? I think it has a co-rulership, because I also know that it's ruled by Saturn. And this is the Saturn card. So this is like being poised to break free. You've come to the end of this. It's time now. And whatever this was, it didn't quite, you weren't quite able perhaps to make out the messages. So you've kind of given up, but don't. And what's interesting is you would expect the cards to be like this. Yeah, somebody deceived me now, but it's like this. And so that's why I say the Two Swords, it's being of two minds. You think that something is going on. You think that somebody's being sneaky. You think that somebody's being deceptive. You kind of resigned yourself to the fact that that is true. That's what's going on. But it's the hidden Two of Swords being of two minds. And I'm telling you, you don't have all of the information yet. Okay? And to me, that's what this Ace of Coins is. This is finally being able to have that proof on, you've been living all up in the head, okay? Trying to access your knowledge all kind of different ways, pulling ideas out of the air, trying to get in touch with your intuition, and you haven't been able to do that. Well, the World card comes in. It's a not yet moment. It's a not yet moment. The coins represent the real physical world, and this is like you getting that hard, tangible evidence or proof of whatever it is that you need to be vindicated, so to speak. So as you can see, we get the news, but then you're not allowed to move yet, okay? And then you get your wish, the Nine of Cups, and justice is going to prevail. I'm going to pull Sabila's on this. Even let me look at this again. If you feel as though being in this space or in this energy has been a waste of time, know that it's not. Okay? And this is saying, in a sense, that once the knowledge is revealed to you, you may end up being disappointed or being resigned, but it's going to be fair. Okay? It's going to be fair. That's what justice says. And this row down on the right, the future vertical column, really says that even though you may feel like this, that secret knowledge is going to unlock a gift for you. It will be fair. It will be balanced, it will be rational, and it will be fair. It's just a moment of waiting right now. And here you are, you're sitting on your throne. You done took that little pentacle, that ace, and you turned it into a bigger ace. Okay? So it's not as though it's maybe you've been expecting for the answer to just fall out of the sky, and it hasn't worked that way, and so you've been disappointed and resigned yourself to the fact that, well, I'll never know. I'll never know. No, you will know. First thing I want to look at, because it goes from a 10 to a 7, you see. It's not a 7 and then a 10. It's a 10 and then a 7. And I have 2 9s here. So the 2 9s speak to extreme isolation. So you have literally, like I said, been in this space. And the whole time you've been in that space, this is what's been at your back. Okay? Whatever has been behind that veil is what you've been searching for. And, it just could be that once the energy of Mercury goes full power, October 7th. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying August 7th. Maybe that date means something to somebody out there. I said August 7th. Maybe that date means something to you. But once the full power of Mercury comes back October 7th, you'll be released from this feeling of I'm almost free, I'm almost home, I'm almost there. And again, we have a balance thing. There's your 2 wands, 2 wands, 2 scales, 2 swords, 2 acolytes, 2 keys. This is maybe you tried to, no. He's holding the wand. Well, we know that wands are about fire, but that's not what the Hermit does. He retreats. It's an earth sign. He becomes stationary. He uses the wand for support. But then after some type of disappointment or resignation, the 2 wands break into, the wand breaks into 2. to give balance. He leaves the snowy, he travels from the snowy peaks. He ends up on the beach with the swords in his back, and then he floats in the sky. Let's take a look at what the Seven of Swords is trying to tell us. You know, this is a hard energy to come out of, these two. They really are. But what's is we go from the King of Swords to the Seven of Swords to the Nine of Cups. And I think this is someone thinking that they really got their wish. They got away with something. What comes around goes around. Now, this is so odd. The Mercante. Negotiations, contracts, deals, compromises. The male lover, l'amante. And then the donna de servizio. She's always positive. She always comes to help. So again, like I said, if this is a separation and you've been waiting for word of divorce, or there's some more information that you need to prove your case, be you male or female in this particular aspect, or same sex, or heterosexual, there's some news that you don't know yet. It hasn't come yet. You're being asked to detach yourself, come out of this energy and go into this energy. Open yourself and be receptive. Don't close yourself off, because you're trying to, the messages are trying to be given to you. They're coming. Now, on the Seven of Swords, the card of deception, you know, maybe this is a, because she's sitting in a garden and a field, maybe this is over property. Maybe this is a property dispute of some kind. Because that kind of looks like a fence in a way. Like you can't tend your garden with your staff. You can't minister to your flock up on the mountaintop. You have to come down, Capricorns. Goats are always trying to climb to the top. That's where they're safest, though. So, I mean, they'll come down if they got to. But they're always, and they take the, you know, they can take some of the hardest roads or paths to get back up to where they feel safe and secure. You know, but you have to remember sometimes that when you scale those high heights like that, you do have to come down. This sort of mimics the world card, I mean, the Wheel of Fortune to me. So you have to, in a sense, whenever I see the world and justice combined, it's kind of like the two combine, the energy of it to combine to become the Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, you have highs and you have lows. And it's about finding the balance in between those two that can make or break you. So now let me look at, let's look at this Ten of Swords. Let's look at the Hermit. The Scientist. Somebody who's going within. This is about a gift that's not unselfish. And a letter from far away, or a message from far away. Remember I said it might be a separation? So a message from far away. I would say that this is a message from a man. Maybe this was about being patient, the Hermit, being patient and doing some inner work while you're waiting for this. I had the Morte card come out. It just flew out of the deck. I'm sure y'all saw that. I was going to be looking at this Ten of Swords. A resignation. This is a complete and utter separation. That's really what death is. But we also know that it brings, you see the way the coffin is tilted this way? So whatever's on this side of the card means a renewal of something. Because it's a transformation. Maybe that's why we have this page has shown up over here in the future column. I'm going to take a look at that Nine of Cups, because that's just an odd line to me. This whole reading is strange. Can't be no stranger than that Sagittarian reading. Ooh. A resignation over the ending of, I'm going to say a marriage, the house. And a loyalty. So let's look at what the Nine of Cups says. You know, that Taurus card, that Hierophant. Remember, I'm always talking to you about how Taurus is ruled by Venus. We have a Jupiter-Venus trine today. I think in a Jupiter-Neptune trine. I think it's both. It's trining both Neptune and Venus. And Venus is all about your own self-worth, your own self-values, the price you put upon yourself. Those two keys at the bottom of his feet. There's only one coin here, but there are two scales. It's not, maybe it's a division of property, a division, but there's something not known yet. Yeah. Look, on one of the most positive cards in the deck, dreams and wishes coming true. Someone who feels that they have achieved something great after a long time, but now doubts and suspicions have come in. And to me, this is speaking to someone being afraid of letting go of the past. This is the sad, lonely man tied to his past. That is the actual meaning of that card. But yet it falls on this. So remember I said this could really be, it's like someone's confusing you. They've been confusing you and giving you mixed messages. On the one hand, they've been keeping your hopes up, but now you finally realized, you're getting the message. Finally, the news is coming in. You've been trying to look at this, you know, maybe you've been seeking a truth from this person. Come on, just tell me. And it's like the three Sabilas, it's like they got away with something. They got away with being able to confuse, to send the mixed messages. And for them, they thought that's what they wanted. But that's not how it's playing out. And that's why justice has come out. Remember I said, well, come around, go around. Let's take a look at the Justice card quickly. I'm not even going to look at justice. They don't even need to be looked at, because that's the truth. No matter how you look at it. You know, I mean, truth is, what's the word? Subjective. My truth is not the same as your truth, but if it's true to you, then that's all that matters. We can agree to disagree upon each other's truths, but it's still a truth. Let's look at this King of Swords. Why is he sitting between these two mystical beings, or these two people who are associated with inner wisdom and higher knowledge, higher self? If this is you moving, I don't know what to tell you. Well, remember I said this read like it was a separation or a divorce, or maybe there was something being perpetrated. Vecchia Signora. Now, she is really in this deck known as the old woman. She's an advisor. She's the lady that says, "Oh, honey, yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I've seen it. And let me tell you how." And she gives you advice and helps you to look at or change the situation. You know, she may give you some advice on how to change the situation, but it is a change and a happiness of the heart. We have a Lanamika here. And there's no other way for me to look at this, but that's another woman. But now, if I look at the top three cards here, remember I said it's the end of a loyalty. Maybe someone is trying to give news in a way that doesn't hurt. I remember all of the gifts that you gave me. You were never unselfish to me. So they're trying to contemplate the best way to give the news. Remember I said there's something you don't know yet. But if I look at the top three Sibila cards here, La Nemica, Donna de Servizio, and then I have the Vedovo. And it kind of says that in one respect that this woman who acts in secret, or this other woman, is really, it's a help. It helps, in one way, it helps someone who is bound and chained to their past. Okay? The sad and lonely man. But we also must remember what comes around goes around. Now I have to look at the Justice card. And if this is happening with you, I know you're like, how the hell that bitch gonna help me? But look at you over here. Okay? And right underneath that is that Nine of Pentacles chick. And if I put this pentacle with that pentacle, that's the Ten of Pentacles. If I put that pentacle with this, that's the Ten of Pentacles. So again, it could be about property, possessions. Maybe it is your possessions. Maybe this really puts you in touch to what your real worth is. Okay? Because it's not always about how much money you got in the bank. How do you feel about yourself? Look, she gonna help you. You want to know how I know that? I want you to look at this. It turns out, and I don't know, you know, love, marriage, and constancy on the Justice card. And maybe for some of you, this could be an offer of marriage coming in after this separation, or you going through this. There's been some crazy cards. That's what I have for you, Capricorns. I hope that made some sense, because I don't know what the hell is going on. Thank you so much, and until next time, namaste.